Hi, I'm Teri Masachi. Today's project is going to be this 1920s dresser, badly in need of refinishing. Unlike paint, this is just old finish, and it should come off pretty well. It needs a very good cleaning down, and then when we refinish it, it's going to be so pretty. And one of the first things, of course, is to take all the hardware off, get that all out of your way. Make sure you put it in a container. Take the drawers out. It also has casters on the bottom. We need to take those off. We don't want to get all those messy and full of old finish. So this is the job that we'll be doing for the next few videos. Use a respirator and gloves to protect against fumes and the harsh chemical remover. Have a drip pan with the side of the dresser in it. We will be using a watery remover to strip the old finish off. Pour the remover into a pail. Start applying the remover onto the side of the dresser with a disposable bristle brush. With a maroon non-woven pad, scrub the old finish off. Use the liquid in the bottom of the pan and work around the legs. Rinse the side down again with fresh remover and dry off. Move on to the drawer fronts. Hold the drawer vertically and brush the remover onto the surface. Keep flooding the surface with the brush full of remover. Scrub with the maroon pad, and when it doesn't grab with sticky old finish, it is ready to dry off with a rag. So the dresser's all stripped, and now the next task is to sand everything, and this is a very complicated variety of surfaces to sand. You've got all this very complicated filigree here. You've got veneer, which is very delicate. You've got edges, you've got this circle here that this surface has to be sanded, this has to be. So we've got a lot of different sanding tools that we're going to be using to get through this dresser. First off, we'll be using the quarter sheet sander, and that will be used to the side here. Then we've got our finishing block, which I prefer to sand veneer by hand because this is so delicate, and you're going to want to sand with the grain. We've got our random orbit, which we can run down the sides of the dresser because these are scars that all need to have to get cleaned up. And then with some of these areas here, you can't even get sandpaper in there, so forget about it. What you're going to do instead is you're going to be scrubbing that area clean with the very fine non-woven abrasive. And that's going to do a good job of cleaning up all in there so that you can then stain. And that really is all the tools you'll be using. So let's get started. There are some repairs that have to be done to the veneer before sanding. Begin by removing a little of the wood under the damage. This will reveal fresh new wood so that it can be filled with a filler and it won't fall out. I will be using a polyester filler that has a hardener added to it to make it super hard. Scoop out a teaspoon or so of the resin on a scrap of cardboard. Add a pea-sized dollop of the hardener and mix quickly. There isn't much time before the filler hardens. Apply in the carved out areas and overfill. Let the filler cure hard. Meanwhile, sand the other parts of the dresser. Use the finishing block with 150 and carefully sand the veneered drawer front. Go up to 180 to complete the sanding. The maroon scrub pad is the only way to smooth the intricate surfaces around the filigree and the various curved surfaces. The back crest board also gets smoothed with the maroon pad. The square pad sander is the only power tool that will sand into the corners on the sides of the chest. Use 150 and then progress to 180. The posts can get sanded with the square pad or use the Orbital sander to clean up and remove all the nicks and dents. The edges of the top have a profile that needs to be carefully hand sanded with folded 150 sheet paper. The top surface is smoothed with the hand block and sanded with the grain. The filler is now hard enough to work down. Smooth off the bottom edge first, then sand the front edge. Sand against the grain to get most of the excess off, and then final sand by hand with the grain, and also soften the edge. Finally, we've got this all sanded down. Some of it was quite complicated and time-consuming, but it's going to be worth it. The next part of the process, we're going to tack it all off. We did vacuum the dust off, but we still need to get even that last little bit of dust off. And then we're going to be putting a gel stain on. If you've never used a gel stain, you're in for a treat. It's very nice stuff, and you'll quickly see how easily it goes on. So let's get to work putting this stain on, and what a transformation this is going to be. Tack off all of the dust with a tack rag. Use a rag with the gel stain. If you have never used a gel stain, you will quickly realize how easy it is. It is thick like pudding, doesn't run or drip, and goes a long ways with coverage. Cover all surfaces, and then wipe the excess off. The areas with filigree and deep recesses have to be done with a brush. Push the gel stain into all those nooks and crannies and then wipe the excess off. Allow the gel stain to dry 6 to 8 hours or overnight. The next step is applying a top coat. A clear gel varnish is just as easy to use as the gel stain. Gently stir, and then with a rag begin applying a thin coat. Wipe gently to remove any heavy excess and smooth out all the streaks. Apply at least 3 coats of gel varnish, sanding in between each coat with 320. I'm putting the finishing touches on this dresser. I am so pleased. This is absolutely gorgeous. Put it right in the house, and against this white wall, it's just, wow, I'm happy. This was a beautiful, beautiful piece that was just hiding underneath all that bad stuff. So this is the kind of project that is so much fun.